All right, we're going to call the meeting to order for the Porte Urban Enterprise Association, February 18th, 2026 meeting. If everybody could stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment this evening?
Limit that to 3 minutes.
We will limit to 3 minutes. Thank you. No public comments. We're going to move on to minutes. Everybody had minutes in their packet. I'll entertain a motion for approval or any amendments.
There's 2 minutes. There's the
Oh.
corporation meeting and then the regular board meeting.
Would you like to vote on them separately, or are you fine with?
I motion to approve both.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are passed. Claims. Do you want to hit the claims, or is there anything?
10 claims at your place setting. The program admin,
Mike.
Marion. Mike.
sorry. Program admin, the only thing new in there is reimbursement for software and a new computer. And then under business programs, Cutler Properties turned in documentation for the second phase of their rehab, and that was included in your board packet, along with photos. And then JL Lawn Care, this is a 2024 business grant, and the work just got completed, and the property owner set in all the documentation required, and he said the reason why it was not completed in 2025 is the company he used, the contractor, had a employee shortage, and it took him longer to get to his project.
I did see the building. I happened to drive by the
And
building.
there are photos and documentation in your board packet that I emailed it out. Yeah, I think the building looks really nice.
What's EDA Consulting?
Brian Shook.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know the name of the company. Okay. Yeah, I'll entertain a motion for approval, if there's no questions.
Hey, real quick, Mary Ann, as far as the software, was there something for your computer that you said there would be an annual charge or a monthly charge?
All of them have an annual subscription charge.
An annual or monthly? It's
I suppose you could pick monthly, but I picked annual.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I thought if we were gonna, it's, it's not fair if you have to pay every month and then,
And this is on my credit card,
right,
so.
right, okay. So it's an annual subscription?
Right.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Thanks, Vicki.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Financial statements?
You also have financials at your place setting.
Financials were in your packet. I didn't see-
Everything was fine except for that dollar amount, which was American Rental, it pays by ACH, and they pay it into our checking account. Well, I didn't catch it until February, when I did the bank rec for January. It came in January. So that's why I wrote that explanation on the statement of cash flows page. So it'll get caught up in February with the February rec.
So, and the only thing I had a question on, so the receivables for Easy 2, You build them, how are we doing on the collection of those?
Slow. I got one today, a smaller one. But I'll stay on it. We've probably got 60% of what I billed for. The big ones have paid.
And that's what it looked like. I saw January's, but I'm assuming you got some in
Yeah.
February as well.
Yeah,
So just make sure by, like, next month, there's somebody we need to address,
right.
that we discuss it at next month's meeting. So, with that, do we have any motion to approve or any questions?
I will motion to approve.
Thanks, Ryan.
Second.
Cassie, motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Financials are passed. Moving right along. So under financial statement, I did send out a email to try to get around some of the, getting into the weeds, but in terms of, so there's been some movement with the city events, which we normally were under the civic. The intention is to move those. The ideal spot would be to fall under LEAP as a nonprofit, so we're not gonna actually run it. It'll be hired out to two people who will consult for those events. So they're gonna run them separately, basically, so the civic can focus on civic events. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the events that go on with the civic. I think some of the events that we're doing downtown, we're retracting from that. So the two people, consultants, Lindsay Kneifel and Jess Spiljeric, were actually looking at this, looking at different models from other cities, so they're taking an approach. We're working with them on trying to make sure that it's the most efficient approach. So the idea would be to move those monies so we can get the consultants paid. There's gonna be insurance and all the stuff that goes along with it. So the suggestion would be to just pay it in 2 installments. One now, the first event, these events would entail stuff like Friday Night Lives, the Sunflower Festival that goes on downtown. There's a speak that we approved for a mural festival, and Santa Parade. Those are examples of some of the events that are being run, and there's other things that are being considered to help promote downtown and promote small business downtown. So that was the request. So my obviously I can't vote since I work with LEAP, but I need to put that to the board in terms of your appetite and get a motion to move those funds.
And to be clear, this is just moving funds we've already appropriated, but appropriating it to a different entity.
Yeah, they haven't
It's in the
expended.
budget. It's just who we're gonna pay it to.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that it's transparent that it's going to be moving to a different organization. They haven't expended any funds. There hasn't been an event yet this year, so, and they just changed to a different director. So this is going to also help ease that director's transition into that role as well. But that's that.
Will there be a contract?
There will be, it's actually going to be a committee under, we ran these events before through LEAP, I mean, in terms of Sunflower Fair, all that kind of stuff before. So there'll be a contract with the consultants, yes.
Okay.
And there'll be an advisory committee, it's just set up to sort of add guidance into some of the things, and Julie's on that committee as well, that's her district.
I'll make the motion to reappropriate the money.
I'll second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mary Ann, I think, viewed for the minutes, Mike and I will both abstain from voting
Okay.
on this, please.
Okay, that's passed. The interest rate on money market. So last couple months, we've talked about this even a year ago. So we have, we were just looking at the interest on our account currently being held at PNC. It was, I think it was like 2.25, I think. They increased it
Yeah.
to 3.25. In fairness to competition, we also gave opportunity to quote to a couple organizations. Horizon Bank responded at 3.65 for the amounts of money that we carry. in that account. I have not gotten a response from PNC back as of this meeting in terms of what they're, if they're sticking at 3.25 or not, but I'll leave it to the board's discretion. I think, obviously, with an interest rate environment, we want to make sure we're maximizing our money. I don't think moving monies, it doesn't really matter where it's at, but I want to make sure that we're good stewards because we can manage it online. It's just a matter of transitioning those accounts, getting new signature cards, those kind of things, and moving the funds. It does equate, I did some math on average balances of, at different times, $750 to $1 million, depending on when we get our receipts, when we get our disbursements, could be multiple thousands of dollars. So, I mean, you're talking probably $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 throughout a course of a year. So it's something to consider. I'll leave it at that. I'm just trying to, I got the question, so I'm trying to bring it to the board in terms of whether we like to move the money. Any opinions?
I don't know where it's at now.
It's at so we are currently at PNC Bank. It's right across the street. If we went to Horizon, it would be a block over. So it's not very far of a walk. But in today's world, you don't really need to walk anywhere unless, I don't even, if you're doing your deposits, probably that would be
Yeah,
it,
well,
right?
PNC's drive-through here doesn't work right now.
Is that your pitch to consider the option?
So I've been making deposits at a PNC in Michigan City.
If you guys would, I mean, if we get, we can wait for PNC, if we can give, if you want to have me the authority to say, hey, if we're getting the highest interest, it's up to you whether we move the monies or not. We can, I don't want to really, I don't think it would be wise to split the monies, because then, because we hold a checking account and then a money market account with interest, and those monies have to be moved back and forth by Mary Ann, so.
Mary Ann, how long has the account been at PNC?
Since I've been doing UEA work,
And how difficult is it to move the money?
I do everything online.
I'll make the motion that we give you the authority to put it in the bank where we can make the best interest.
Okay, and I'll inform you, we'll see where it goes in a week. When they've got back to me, I'll inform you via email that, hey, here's what we're looking to do. And then I'll just get affirmation from the board via electronic vote at that time. It's really just a matter of trying to maximize our return, so we'll leave it at that.
Well, you got to.
Oh, I'm sorry, we gotta get a second.
Act on that. I'll second that.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'm going to abstain for obvious reasons, but I would just like to mention that it'd be great to provide, support to financial institutions that support the community as well. And I think that should be taken into consideration as a taxpayer.
Good point.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so I will let you know how that result ends up. Monthly, old business. Media release, I just wanted to put this on old business. The media release went out, and thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you, Jess Poljarek.
Jessica and Lindsay.
And Lindsay as well, for getting a good write-up for the accomplishments we had. I think we need to tout those. I think that's important that we put that out in the public, because you guys do a lot of good things for the community and are good stewards of our funds. And it's something that we should make sure that the public and the community know that we're doing, so we're transparent as possible. So that was a great piece.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I got quoted in it, which is not good, but, because then I get a few text messages telling me how important I look, so.
Did anyone see it in the newspaper?
I saw it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't get a subscription, so I don't see it. But it was on Hometown News on their website. And I don't know.
Whoever
where
I'm
else.
following on social media, I know there was a few different things that it was posted in,
Okay.
and I saw it, and most of those, so it got out there for sure. Yep. So thank you for that. QuickBooks Online.
I haven't purchased that yet because I'm waiting for Roscoe to set up the computer for that. And then I need to talk to John Angelos about transferring stuff from QuickBooks on the old computer to the new computer.
And you
I'm not qualified to do that. I will muck that up.
and I will, I think, we talked about it briefly, but you and I can meet, I can.
You think
Yes,
You
I've done
can
it.
override my muck-ups?
Yes, I think
Okay.
it's it's a pretty efficient process, so we can look at that.
Okay.
And get the subscription.
And
So once
transfer
Roscoe-
all of the data to the new program?
Yeah, it's very, very efficient
Okay.
technology nowadays. It's coming from me, as Bert would probably acknowledge, that I'm very tech savvy, so that's something that I'll be able to handle.
I plead the fifth in this situation.
So yeah,
It
so,
is very different though, too. I mean, just to say, I mean, it is very different utilizing QuickBooks Online, so.
yeah, it's a different, and but it's
So
for,
you have experience with it?
Enough not to touch it.
Oh. I thought maybe if I had two board members to help, okay.
no, we'll walk through it, make sure it's something you're comfortable with before we make that transition, and it does, it's clunky up front, but it actually is very efficient for the amount of transactions we do. I can't imagine it's gonna be crazy, so we'll
Right.
figure it out, and I think it'll be more efficient to where we'll be able to have access without exchanging different, flash drives and those kind of things in the future, so if something changes. So we've got that. So I'll work with that, digitizing files.
I talked to DataBank this week, which is the company out of Chesterton that the board approved
Yep,
back in April of 2025. He thinks, but he hasn't talked to the team, the crew that comes out and picks everything up. He thinks he can get everything, he can get a team out here the 1st of March, maybe the first week in March, to pick everything up.
okay,
And we've got like 16 boxes of stuff.
okay. And that's all under the quote or less than the quote that he originally gave us, right?
Actually, it's about the same.
Okay,
And he's gonna get back to me. We need a contract, and he'll finalize the dollar amount in the contract.
can you, since it's a new, did we carry those funds over as an encumbered amount?
I believe we did. Can I look at your? Digitized files, I have $7,000 encumbered.
And it's gonna maintain on that, because otherwise we'll get a reapproval on it, and,
Right. If the number is more than 7, then I'll bring it to the board.
so by next meeting, we're gonna have people picked up the files, and they're basically taking them, and then they're gonna put them into some electronic form.
Right.
Okay, good deal. Thank you for that. All right, new business, discussion and action on community enhancement grant to City of LaPorte Parks and Recreation, Earth Day 5K. So it's an event, so $500, right?
UEA funded this last year with a community enhancement grant.
Unless we have discussion, I will motion to approve that.
Motion?
I'll second.
Who do we want? I mean, who wants that one? Vicky's got second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Do you want to go through the,
I don't have that because you gave me absolution until next month.
so Vicky and I walked through, we think so some of this stuff will be more efficient and more just visible rather than, it might even take place of some of the additional documents that you get in your packet. So work with Marianne on a spreadsheet, just so we got an idea, and these will come in your board packets, like it'll say for instance, the building across the street comes in with a grant request. She'll say, hey, she'll mark that on her timeline, grant request, applications submitted, approved by board, so we can at least track it through the process. This way, I know you guys are like me, like you get to the next meeting, you're like, hey, what happened with that? And we have no idea, and we just take the word of Mary Ann or whoever's working on it. This way also to help her if something slips through the cracks in terms of, like Jerry Lukac and jails with that building. We'll know, hey, they haven't responded back to us. We can at least see that. It'll remind us, hey, what's happening with that grant? So it'll just be another step in the process to make sure that we're all more efficient as a board. So, and I think Mary Ann's comfortable with it. And Vicki and I are working with her on a couple just tweaks, but I think we got it pretty much. So next month, we'll hopefully see that in your packet, and then move on from there. Anything you want to add? Are you good? Okay. Other business?
I have one thing.
Yep.
HRR Enterprises completed a request for waiver of compliance. They're a sister company, brother company of KT Soap, owned and operated by the same people. KT Soap got a waiver of compliance for 23, pay 24. HRR Enterprises is in the same situation that KT Soap was, and they're requesting a waiver of compliance for 23, pay 24. And I just got this yesterday as an email. So I explained to the CFO that I will bring it up to the board and see if they're willing to have it put on the March agenda. We'll have to do another public hearing like we did for KT Soap, make a decision, and then notify the auditor's office and Brian Shook.
Do they have an accountant working with them?
Pardon?
They have an accountant working with them, or you just talk?
Or their
directly?
accountant is,
Okay, yeah. All right, so I guess we'll go through the process.
so
Pull the
if
application
with
together.
your approval, I'll put this on the March board agenda and have another public hearing.
Why wasn't it done with the other one?
Pardon?
Why wasn't it done with the other one? They had to have known that they needed it at that time.
I don't know.
Seems to me that we're pretty far afield of that time period, and we could have probably easily done this with the other one at that
Right,
time and
at the
not
same
invoked.
time, right. Had one public hearing but it is what it is, and I'm thinking that the CFO is fairly new, and probably by going through records and looking at tax returns is uncovering some skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, and I think it's a slippery slope, because I mean, it's obviously, I don't know whose fault it is, whether it's the accountant or the company, but if it's from the same accountant, and if we get another one from the same accountant, then it's gonna be a little bit frustrating. So just go through the process, we'll discuss it at the March meeting, just get their information and tell them we'll have to wait to see if it's approved.
In regards to KT Soap,
We do need to get the letter of explanation of why it was delayed,
okay,
yeah.
I'd like to, if you can ask for an explanation of why it was delayed, but also why it wasn't included with the one that we just previously did for KT Soap. I'd love to hear that explanation as well.
Yeah, good point.
And have we started the process for these where we're charging?
yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
KT Soap did pay the fee.
okay.
And it sounds like the auditor's office is in the process of amending their tax bill, because they sent KT Soap a W-9 form to complete. And Fritz says it could be because they're going to reimburse us for an overpayment of taxes for that year. And he says, keep your fingers crossed. And Brian's been working with the auditor's office on that.
Good, yeah, stay on top of that. Thank you. Other new business.
One thing I would like to say is I think our logo looks fabulous. Our
What?
new logo looks fabulous. One thing, are we gonna get that updated on like our grant application and
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah. And you saw we can use either format, so that, yeah, I think it's colorful. I think it looks way better than what we had before. So, and there's, so thank you to Jessica
Jess and Lindsay,
for
yeah.
that as well, so. One thing I did want to mention, we did approve funding for murals. I think HFL is, I don't know if they've approved it, but I know they're in consideration of approving some type of funding as well for murals. A walk to downtown this evening. Actually, Bird almost ran over us, but it was, we're trying to, Janet Block with the Lebezic Center is trying to identify certain, and I think we got a spot. I've actually already talked to a couple of the owners of the buildings where it could be a nice central location in downtown to have sort of an event. In part, I just mentioned that the two consultants that'll be working on the events, that'll be part of that. They were sitting down and talking with Janet on how they could turn it into some more of an event around it, be just sort of post 4th of July, pre fair, county fair, so somewhere in that time frame. So it could be interesting to have a few more murals downtown, similar to where the area we're looking at is sort of where Hotspot Cafe is. And so it could enhance that mural that's already there. So it's good. I thought it was really neat, and she seemed to love the buildings. I'm not the most artistic person in the world, but she seemed to like the landscape and where they would go. So update on that. Other than that, any other business? Motion to adjourn? Scott?
Motion to adjourn.
He's so generous.
Okay, Cassie?
All in favor?
Aye.